and it's time to profile what the future Prime Minister of Britain would be like.
Badenoch, 59 votes. Mordaunt, 92 votes. Sunak, 118 votes. So, Kemi Badenoch is eliminated from the election.
Welcome to our face reading and body language channel. Today we have top 3 candidates that's going to replace Boris Johnson of Britain. And what we have here is a picture of Rishi Sunak, the front runner. So let's analyze his face. What shouts out immediately are his thick eyebrow, his large ears, and his long face. Okay, for long-faced people, they are usually tall. Naturally, they're usually tall. The face grows in tandem with the height. And tall people have that certain Empire State Building type of demeanor. They are confident, they have inner strength, but not just because they are tall. It's because of the clues that are shown on their face. And in this case, he has a squarish look. From his side profile, he actually reminds me of David Schwimmer of Friends fame and Dylan McDormand of The Practice. Okay, they have this similar look, and if you remember the two characters, what roles do they play? David Schwimmer was a professor, and the other guy was a cop. Okay, so from the side angle, this guy tells me he's the upright type of person. He's a left brainer. Okay, he goes with logic, and let's talk about facts. Okay, he has a thick eyebrow that tells me he reads a lot, and that is confirmed by his big ears. He's full of information. He probably knows what he's talking about. He has a crisp line here between his lip and his chin, and that tells me he pushes himself really hard. So he's a hard worker guy, and that's confirmed also by a line across the nose bridge. You don't really see it very often, but these are the people who are very intense in getting things done, and they're high on responsibility. His large nose tells me he's either very artistic or he's very good in finance or the economy. So it's some guy that I would like to trust. As compared to Boris Johnson, and Boris Johnson already told me from the onset, if a guy it's okay with his messy type of hair, and I did a video on that, you're gonna expect some unpredictability from characters that wears their hair like that. From the onset, people already kind of knew, but well, they went ahead with him. The second candidate is Liz Truss, and the first countenance tells me that this woman will fight and will argue even over the petty things. She wants to be right. She will argue at all costs. The lines on her face tells me that she's gone through some really hard time. In fact, on the left and right side of her mouth shows double grief line, both in personal side and in her career side. She's gone through grief, and so it tells me that she's emotional, and she would be very emotional when she becomes the Prime Minister. If she ever becomes the Prime Minister, she will think with her heart more than her head. As compared to Rishi, he will think more with his left brain, and she would think more with her right brain. Okay, the overall countenance tells me from the side view, you can see there's a bit of disproportionate between her head and her body. I'm so inclined to say this lady's going to be quite petty. Okay, as a Prime Minister, I wouldn't pick her as a candidate. We move on to Penny Mordaunt. The first impression she gives me, she's like Adele, the singer. Strong, good character. Her countenance tells me she is pleasant. As we see her side view, she wears her hair in a very classy way. Although she's on the heavier side and she's big, she's always carry a certain amount of class. I think image is very important to her, and image to me is very important too. If a person bothers to even dress up for a YouTube video, or it tells us that they care what people think about them. Okay, so that is called behavior awareness, and it's really important because how you You know that how you behave will affect people's perception of you, and you tend to up your game a lot. Okay, so in this case for Penny Mordaunt, I quite like her. There are many pictures of her. Her smile's great. She's got big, strong jaws that tells me she can handle her own. She's got a cleft on her chin, tells me that she's an interesting person to hang out with, and she knows she's charming, and she would use her charm. Her eyebrows are winged. That's great actually for a leader, especially if you're going to face up against giants like Putin. So between the three candidates, I would think, to me, Liz would be my third choice. Penny and Rishi are good candidates, and I think people like Rishi because of the way that he carries himself, very confident, and very often he has a smile on his face, showing that he won't be rattled so much in those kind of politics. It's like, I'm Mr. Nice Guy. I really want to get things done, and that could also be his weakness if he ever goes into an altercation with another country. Okay, so good luck, Britain. If Rishi gets and becomes the next prime minister, we are so excited that Britain can embrace a minority ethnicity, not a native white, because I'm sure he'll lead the way even for countries like Singapore, which we only have one mono-race prime minister forever. This sends a very strong signal that you guys put the right guy for the job, and not based on anything else. Okay, just get the right person for the job.